And hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. So, a couple of things I want to touch on. I have a new mic, so hopefully this is working. If this sounds at all weird, let me know. I will try to mess with the settings, but this is a significant upgrade in a headset for me. So, I am excited to hopefully continue to upgrade the quality around here. And thanks again to my patrons who make all of that possible. I mean, it's still possible without my patrons. The patrons make it a heck of a lot easier to justify. I can tell you that much as I continue to invest in improving things around here. X Huntinator X was sweet. I'm glad he is here and excited. For those of you who have not heard the story by now, it was actually Huntinator in a comment who asked me about Zeds on a live playthrough about a year and a half ago. And I was like, what's that? I never heard of it before. And wow, am I glad he put it on my radar. I stalked it for a few months until I found it at a price that I really was willing to pay at that point, because I didn't know it's like zombies. I don't know. We'll see. But took the plunge and quickly got all the expansion content, and I absolutely adore this game. It has been my number 3 in my top games list the last 2 years running. We have Tom, absolutely favorite game. Doesn't get to the table nearly enough. I agree with that. Ophir is here. Good evening, all. And David R says, Zeds. I know, lots of Zeds. So I have not beaten this challenge yet. I played it last night. I was rolling so bad. I rolled like 3 2s, a couple of 3s, a couple of 4s. I was like, not my night. I was like halfway through the game. I just stopped, just absolutely stopped. I was getting frustrated. It wasn't worth it. It will come back. I played it this morning, had a really good run. Fortunately, just got into a place where I had the Iron Zeds. They took a lot of actions up. Finally got rid of them, and then I just wasn't in a place where I could control the chaos markers. And a brains event was approved my utter demise. And so let's go. I feel good about it. I mean, the co-op rules do make things a little bit different. The standard version of the co-op rules, it's a shorter game than the standard version of the solo game. So basically, it is the short solo game. So that means that there's less cards in the event deck, which means that trying to do like a super weapon strategy is a little bit harder to pull off. You don't have as many rounds to really make it worth it. So we'll see what our starting heroes are, and we'll see how we want to progress from there. Ophir says, we'll be here for a bit. Have to sleep early tonight. Catch the end at another time. Good luck. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the good luck wishes. Anyone that has been waiting for my Madara video to drop. I know that it was supposed to be released on Sunday. Again, Sunday usually means Monday or Tuesday based on my editing schedule these days. My wife, Mrs. Playthroughs, did come down with COVID, which meant we were away and she left early and I was stuck in Boston and a bunch of stuff happened. She is fine, absolutely fine. She's, again, was triple vaxxed, not a big concern long term. But it did mean that our life was kind of flipped upside down. How I did not catch it, I have no idea. I was in the car with her for 6 hours, did not catch it though. So here we are. COVID is weird like that. But it did mean that my editing schedule got really screwed up. So I am still quite a ways away from being done with the Madara video. I will try to get that edited and out tomorrow or Friday, and then I will try to get Sunday's video out Monday or Tuesday and kind of catch up with the schedule. So hang tight for that. I appreciate it. Christian Della Plaza, have you tried any war game that you like? Not particularly. I mean, in a general sense, games that kind of loosely fit in the war genre. I do like Twilight Struggle. I've only played it a few times though. I played Imperial Struggle. Pavlov's House probably falls in that genre. I really, really like Pavlov's House. I did move it on to someone else though, because it just wasn't a game I was going to play very much. I guess, especially now with current events, playing as the Russian heroes does feel a little bit strange. Not gonna lie, but I got rid of that game, a couple of months before that even. But yeah, I guess the war game genre, like, it's something I'm very intrigued by. I haven't played a coin game yet. I'm very excited to get Red Dust Rebellion later on, hopefully this year or early next year. That was a game designed by Jared Carmichael of 3 Minute Board Games. So you could, I think, pre-order that now on the GMT website. So that will be probably my first coin game. And, I do have a couple of friends who are into like the historical war game genre. So I do need to just take the time, play it out. But yeah, I have not played, like, I guess like the core of like the war game genre. I played games that are like loosely based on war game mechanics, similar to Dawn of the Zeds, which I really, really like. So that is a good question. Thank you for that. So let's get the event deck set up. We have our ending events. Again, if you have all the expansion content, you'll have 7 of them. We're just going to take one and put it on the bottom of the event deck, and I'll just start building that in front of me here. Put this over here. We're going to take the chapter 4 cards. We only have 2 regular events from chapter 4, and we're going to take 2 of the 3 special events from chapter 4. So I'm going to take the 2 regular events, put them here, put these back in the box, get the special events, drop 1 off, put 2 there, put this 1 back in the box, and we're going to shuffle these 4 cards. So the ratio of special events to regular events is intense, and it does take some getting used to. In the game I had this morning, I had 4 special events in a row, and that probably wasn't that unusual based on how the ratio is. In chapter 3, you're going to have a 4 regular events to 3 special events ratio, and that is going to be the same in chapter 2. So there are the 3 special events, and then you're only going to have 2 chapter 1 events. So again, it's a much smaller deck than you're going to be used to in the standard solo game. And I'm going to take 4 of those, put them there. Now, how the pressure events work is basically every time you see a pressure event symbol, whether it's a movement pressure event or a placement pressure event, you're going to carry out the effect of that symbol 1 time each for the number of players -1. So I'm only going to play this as a 2-player solo game. So I'm using the cooperative rules. I'm playing solo, so I have 2 player action markers, so 2 -1. So each time I see a symbol, I need to carry the effect out once. So if I was playing with a 3rd player action marker, I'd have to carry out the events twice. If I was playing with a 4th player action marker, which would be the max, then you'd have to carry out the pressure events 3 times. I do like the way it kind of just notches up the tension a bit more, and does kind of, in some ways it could be, well, the placement events not so much, but the movement events could almost be helpful because it brings the Zeds closer to you at times. That might actually be advantageous, but also you need to be more careful that your heroes aren't in a place where they're more likely to be, battled against before you're actually ready to make that work. All right, so these 7 events are shuffled, and now we're going to fan this out. So I have 5 events there, 4 events there. Yikes. 4 events there, and that is the bottom 9 cards in the deck. So I'm going to take the National Guard card, put that there, and then we have 3 more cards on top of that. So if I did that right, there should be 13 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13. That is correct. Let's get to chapter 2. Christian says, thanks. No, thank you. If you are any war games that you like that you think I should try, I'd be all ears. I definitely appreciate all the recommendations I get on this channel. It does get harder and harder to find the time to follow up on some of the recommendations I get, just with review copies coming my way and just the number of games that I'm trying to kind of keep in the rotation. Obviously, Chip Theory Games has had a thing or two to say about what games I feature over the last year. So just trying to do some Too Many Bones, some Cloudspire, still trying to make sure I keep my Spirit Island and my Mage Knight videos going, because those are my favorite 2 games and really don't want to get too far away from them, because those are what I love to play the most. And obviously it had been 4 months since the last time I played Zeds, and that is almost criminal. It was like, it's been 4 months. Originally, if you go back to last week's live playthrough, I did say I was going to do a double header for Spirit Island. I had the schedule wrong. That was actually scheduled for 2 weeks from now. I was supposed to do a Space Empires 4X game today, but I switched it up because with me being stuck in Boston, I was not able to get back to that game enough where I felt ready to put that on camera, especially live. I just didn't want it to be just me thinking too much. So I will try to do that next week, and then we'll have a Spirit Island double header in 2 weeks where I'm going to be doing the first wave and the second wave. I'm going to be doing the second wave scenario, but obviously you can't have a second wave until you play out a first wave. So hopefully I win the first wave so we can, actually have a second wave to speak of. I will probably drop the difficulty down to like adversary level 4, just to make it more likely that I win, and we'll just totally randomize all that. So look forward to that in 2 weeks if you are a Spirit Island fan. We're only going to have 2 chapter 1 events. Again, one of the things I love about this game is how much variety of content there is. You could play this game hundreds of times, maybe not hundreds, but dozens of times, and still not see every card there is to see. So that's the setup of the event deck. We need to set up our research deck. In the co-op game, there are going to be 4 early research cards, and we have our late research cards. So we have the 5 late research cards that have the exclamation point. I'm going to shuffle the rest of these late research cards. We're going to take 2, put that in the box, and then we're going to shuffle these 5 cards with the 2 cards I just randomized, and this will be the bottom of our research deck. Yet I do not know how much I'll be going into the research deck unless I get Professor a G. If I get Professor a G, rest assured I'll be doing some research, because she just makes the researching process that much more efficient, because you're so much more likely to succeed in all of your research roles. I'm going to shuffle the early research deck. I'm taking 4 of these off the top, and that's going to go onto the top of our research deck over here. We have our 12 chaos markers here. I have the health, a bunch of all our tokens down here. We have the Zeds weapon stuff here. The barriers up there. I'm going to keep the fate deck and the event deck underneath my ugly mug up on the top left corner. And then we have our player aids, which will obviously be useful. We have our bags of Zeds tokens. I'm going to take the special security forces. I'm going to roll a die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to place in the town center basement first. So I rolled a 1. This means this guy goes here. I'm going to now place the regular civilians. There are 7 of them. I'm going to roll a D8. I'm going to place up in Beauville first. I rolled a 4, so it's a 2 strength dude. Now I'm just going to roll a D6 to place the rest of these. A 5, it's a 3 strengther. Going to now place up in the forest check as a 4, 2 strength. Please don't let me miss out on the 4 strength. I rolled a 5. There's only 4 left. I rolled a 3. Always. I rolled a 4. So I'm going to miss out on one of the 3s or my 4. I got the 4 at least. So the 3 is out of the game. And now we need to go ahead and pick our heroes. The game tells you you can choose a hero for each player, so I could choose 2 if I wanted to. I'm just going to randomize all of that. I find that more fun. Obviously, it can be a swingier game that way, but I think all of the heroes, you usually get a combination that works well and creates some interesting synergies, and I just like that better. So up top, you're just going to have to trust me, because I'm not going to read off all 21 names of all the heroes. Again, if you have all the expansions, you have 21 heroes total. So I'm going to roll a D6 first, because I don't have a D21. Shocking. So 1, 2, 3, I'm going to choose from the first 10. 4, 5, 6, I'm going to choose from the numbers 11 through 21. I rolled a 1. So from the first 10, let me roll a D10 here. I rolled a 10, so we get Otto Sarge Hauser. I do not think he's been featured on the channel yet, so that's pretty exciting. He's going to start in Town Center. I'll read all his abilities in a second. I'm going to now start rolling the D20. I rolled a 18, so that's Mayor Hernandez. Don't think he's been featured on the channel in quite a while. He comes in with 2 special action tokens. Like to see that. I don't know if I'll read these flavor text here. It seems like it'd take a while. 19 left. I rolled a 13. So 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Doc Seaver. Don't mind that. Little free heal actions can be pretty nice. All right, so we'll kind of flip him over. And one more time, we have 18 left. I rolled a 10. So 9, 10. Special Agent Wright. So we do have some science capabilities, but again, do not have Professor a G, so I'm a little reluctant to be doing too much of that. We also need our heroic civilians. So let me roll this D10. I have them all over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bob Bauer's crew. They can be really helpful as we try to build up all of our barricades. Because it is a shorter game and with the pressure events, I have found a strategy of really trying to get a barricade on every path really helpful and useful, and Bob Bauer's crew will really help with that. We'll see what I roll for starting resources. Actually, might as well do that now while I'm thinking about it. So I'm rolling 2 dice to determine my starting resources. I rolled a 5, so only 5 supplies, but we get 6 minus 2, we get 4 ammo. This infection should start at 0. No need to start that at 9. I'm going to place a regular Zeds at the beginning of all 5 tracks. So we have, Man down, man down. We have a 4. This one fell out. I'm just going to put it back in the bag. Really don't know what number it was. We have a 5 here. Again, these range from 2 to 9, so hopefully we did not see the 9er. Most of them are going to be 5. There's a 5. We have a 5, and the tunnel track. Last but not least, we have a 6. All right. So that's it. Cool. Let's talk about what our little characters here. Her name reflecting her mother's Scandinavian heritage, FBI Special Agent Anika Wright initially followed in her father's footsteps, gaining dual master's degrees in linguistics and medical anthropology. A bunch of other flavor text. I will leave that for you just to discover on your own. Her abilities, she can be moved into a hospital staff office or a laboratory space. There is an intelligence support team. She receives a +1 terrain shift, or shift, not really, terrain shift, in all hand-to-hand combat and gunfire attacks. Her experimental field gear, Wright gets a rugged roll. Each time she receives a hit, roll a die. If you roll a 5 or a 6, the hit is canceled. And call for intel as an action. You can examine the next event card and put it back on top of the deck face down. It's pretty action intensive. Probably won't do that much, but it's not a terrible idea. And medevac coordination, while Wright is in a hospital staff office, add +1 to all players' units' saving rolls. Probably won't really do that either. She's going to be too important to be out trying to do some combat, especially considering who else I have among these heroes. We have Doc Seaver. Dr. Xavier Seaver appears at first glance to resemble an old-fashioned country doctor, a bit crusty, but with a caring bedside manner administered with homespun wit and wisdom. Oh, Doc. So Doc, both of these guys have the diamond, so that means if they were to come down in the tunnel track, they do not have to do the catacombs rolls, which can be pretty nice. Doc has 2 special things. We'll put them there. I should say Special Agent Wright. She attacks on a 4 on her healthy side, a 2 on her unhealthy side. Doc attacks at a 3 on his healthy side, a 1 on his unhealthy side. They both have a movement value of 4. Science, he can be moved into a hospital staff office or laboratory space. Medical, once per action phase, while in a hospital staff office, Seaver may spend his medical action marker to perform 1 heal action to any unit in the hospital. Place a medical marker on this card to keep track of when you have used this ability. First aid, once per action phase, Seaver may spend his first aid action marker and spend 1 supply to perform 1 heal action on any unit on or adjacent to a space, including himself. He can heal a unit in the hospital in this manner. If he is in the hospital staff office or town center, place the first aid marker on this card to keep track of when you use this ability. So it's really nice. So if you have some units in the hospital and you have Seaver up there, between medical and first aid, you can heal 2 units if there's 2 different units. Again, each unit can only heal once a turn because, healing takes some time. But you would also get a corresponding infection decrease of 2, which can be really huge, but it does cost 1 supply. And again, we only started with 5, so we'll see if we can. And I do want to build a ton. I do want to build pretty much all my barricades. So we're going to have some coordinating to figure out how we can make this work the most. And then hospital administration. While at a hospital staff office, he can admit a 4th patient. This patient may stay in the hospital even if Seaver leaves. It's a lot of patients, again, because each patient admitted, remember, that does increase your infection by 1. Not sure I'm going to want to be doing that. Mayor Hernandez, Civic. So only fights on a 2 on his healthy side and a 1 on his not-healthy side. Not great. Keys to the city. Add +1 to all forged die rolls made by every other unit in a town or town center space. Against town center space is in the center. Town space is going to be the 5 spaces that are level 0. So mall district, east side, downtown, town center basement, and suburbia. Traffic control. Entering town center costs the moving unit 0 movement points. That's nice. That applies to all units and for all player units, I should say. And then the Citadel. Once per action space, he may spend his Citadel action. Once per action phase, he may spend a Citadel action to give a unit in town center a free gunfire attack. It still costs 1 ammo with a 1 terrain shift. Place the Citadel marker on this card to keep track of when you've used this ability. So it's a little risky. Because you have to be in town center. So say I had Agent Wright in town center and she does a gunfire attack. Well, where can she attack? Well, she could only attack adjacent, right? If I had Piazza, the Citadel ability is actually even stronger because if Piazza can hang out in town center, she can attack any Zeds and all the ones. But with the current units, it's like, all right, so we're going to have to get a unit close to town center and then we could do a free attack. Again, free in the sense that it's a free extra action, but it would still cost us our ammo. We only have 4 to start. So it can be pretty helpful. And then motivational speech, once per game, he may spend his motivational speech action to give a powerful gripping speech. Every other player unit in a town space, that's town center and the town spaces I already mentioned, are inspired by it. They receive a 1 free action. Place a motivational speech marker on this card to remind you about this ability. Again, that's once per game, not once per action phase. We have Auto Sarge Hauser. So this is an interesting mechanic. I have never really pulled this off well, but I'm going to try it today just for kicks. Auto Sarge Hauser, called Sarge by everyone. Otto Hauser is a retired United States Marine Corps drill instructor. I almost said corpse. I corrected myself that time. Who has emotionally never left the parade grounds. Of course he hasn't. So he has a 3 on his healthy side, a 2 combat on his injured side. He also has a move of forward, just like the rest of the heroes. Forwards. He receives +1 to all forwards die rolls. That could be nice. Replacements. While in town center, as an action, he can spend 1 ammo and remove 1 hit from any regular civilians units that is not in the hospital. I mean, fine, but it's a lot. I mean, I'm not using ammo to remove hits. That's just not gonna be a thing I'm gonna do. Honestly, you're almost better off, especially with Doc Seaver, I'm better off allowing a civilian unit to die and hopefully do a saving roll, and then I could use Doc Seaver's ability just to kind of keep my infection level down. So probably would not be doing replacements. Drill instructor. As an action, train a regular civilians unit on or adjacent to a space. If he has a Defier marker, remove that marker, place a train marker on the unit. Until eliminated, train units receive +2 strength. That could be huge. So I can make my 4s in town center, but that's great. I can make my 4 a 6, right? I can try to get out here and make, where's the 3? Oh, the 3's on the board. I can try to make all these 2s a 4, right? So that could really, really add up. So we'll see how much we could do that. And then we have tough. Each time he receives a hit, roll the die on a 4, 5, or 6. The hit is canceled. Remember, high rolls are always good for the player. And then military in a versus game. Well, we're not doing a versus game, so that does not matter. And I keep throwing my health markers all around here and making a mess. Great. Bob Bauer's crew. While others are doing the fighting, Bob Bauer leads his construction crew in preparing the town's defenses. Makeshift barricades become their specialty. Bob's Bauer crew is our starting heroic civilian. They have a 3 on their combat side. They have a 2 on their healthy side, a 2 on their injured side. They have a movement value of 3. I'll tell you what, in my game this morning, I had the Clarion Courier. I mean, that's just like a... What a boon to the player. I'm like, wow, I just wish I rolled them every time, because you get another heroic civilians and they have all these other benefits. It's absolutely bananas. All right. So as an action for once applied, this unit can build a barricade. So instead of 2, it costs 1, which is nice. Explosive devices. Once per turn, this unit may spend its explosive devices action marker to convert 2 supplies into 1 ammo. Place the explosive devices marker on this card to keep track of when you have used this ability. That's going to be really hard to do, because we will not have all the extra supplies to make that work. And while in the Farmingdale suspension space, as an action, you can remove the ferry marker, i.e. you can repair the bridge. Again, the bridge could collapse based on a fate draw. So again, that is a kind of a niche ability that comes up in some games, but not all. Sagittarius says, well, hello. Just rewatched some magical Manticore moments today while working. Oh, the precious memories. Man, while I was stranded in Boston with my friend Tony, we made a whole lot of more magical Manticore moments. So you'd be happy to know that. Good luck with the zombies, kill them all. Yeah, hopefully I'll just survive them all, but we all know how I roll, so that is going to be quite the challenge. Josh, one of my patrons, Josh, wrote in a comment where he's like, hopefully you roll better on the new mat. So far, not so much. So hopefully that is a trend that will turn. All right, let me talk about the pressure events a little bit more. So we have 2 different kinds of pressure events. We have the movement pressure event. So every time you see the Z with like the speed thing going on, when that happens, basically you're going to find the strongest Zed, and or the strongest Zeds mob, and then you're going to just basically move it. And now if you have two of the strongest Zeds on the board, you have to move the one that's closest to town center, and we'll go from there. So if it causes the combat, you just do all the combat rules like normal. And then for the Zeds pressure event, the placement event, determine. Again, we're only adding one because there's a two-player co-op game here. You're going to find the track with the fewest number of Zeds units, and then you're going to add another Zeds to that track start space, applying the stacking limit as normal. So, it should come up pretty soon here. A lot of these events do have either one or both, either and or both of the both types of events. So we'll start seeing that happen pretty quick here. But I think everything's done with setup. Yes, it is. Let's go to the first event. And again, this whole deck is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 cards, including the what do you guys call it? The National Guard cards. So really 21 events that we need to get through to survive and live to tell about our showdown with the zombies. Here we go. Denial is not a river in Egypt. So for our phase, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers, none of that applies. We go to the infection phase. We have to roll the die. The infection level 0. I could not possibly roll a -1, so we're good. Or I cannot possibly roll the 0, so we're good. Eat phase, again, can't roll the 0, so we're good. The Zeds are going to activate on the forest track. This Zeds goes there. The Zeds are now going to activate on the highway track. This Zeds goes there. We go to the action phase. During this phase, player units in the space next to Zeds cannot perform move actions or gunfire attacks, and we get 2 actions. So I have no really good, I don't have Otto. No, I don't have Alan Zeno Jones. I don't have Deputy Schmidt. So I am limited to just these actions and my event actions. What do I want to do? I think it does make sense to try to train some peeps. So I will spend an action to train the heroics, the regular civilians. Oh, shoot. I don't even have one of those train markers. So I don't think I have the marker necessary to train that level 4. So let me get Otto out in the field and he'll start training somebody else. So Otto's going to move 4 with our first event action, and we should try to have him train. Well, he can't get there in one action, so he's going to go up to the farm, and he's going to spend the next event action to train these guys. So we're going to turn this over to trained, and that's going to be +2 to combat rolls. All right, yeah, I don't have another trained one, so I'm going to need one of these defiant markers to come off before I can actually train my 4s to make them a 6. So +2 strength for these guys. That is not a shift; it's a +2 strength. So they're a 2 strength unit. Now they're a 4 strength unit, which is super nice, super nice. While Otto is there, I think it makes sense for him to do some foraging in the farm. So we're rolling a d6. I rolled a 3 +1 to 4 is die rolls. It becomes a 4. I'm in the farm. I get 1 supply. So now we're up to 6. And we have one more action. I'm going to get Bob Bauer's crew in place. They're going to want to do some building. We will send Bob Bauer's crew up to what am I worried about? We'll send Bob Bauer's crew up to here. We'll send them over here. 1, 2, 3. And they're going to just chill. So I'll have them build a barricade there next turn. So we go to the housekeeping phase. This would be when you restore order. Obviously, we're not restoring order anywhere. We're going to flip those 2 action things back over, and this comes out of the game. Looking at the thing, justify 21 turns, no problem. What's up, Tom? Tom from Quarter to 3 is here, and yeah, it's easy. I don't know why this game's so hard. Let's go. Supply room discovered. Rangers, Raiders, Refugees, Rescuers, nothing. Infection, no. Eat we could roll the die. I can't roll the 0. Zeds. The Zeds are activating on the highway track. So the Zeds come in. They're going to make the infection level come up because we are engaging in hand-to-hand combat. This marker comes off. These guys are like, I'm no longer defiant because, oh, these Zeds things are for real. And now we're going to do a hand-to-hand combat of a 5 to a 2. So that is Zeds times 2. We do get the terrain shift because we're on Ingeborg, and that becomes Zed's advantage. Let's see. First roll of the game should dictate how this is going to go. I rolled a 5. Sounds about right. So we do 1 damage. That is 3 damage to our unit. They're going to flip over to their injured side. Now that there's no player units here, the villagers are like, okay, let's get out of here. So they flip over and they are now fleeing refugees. That is done. The activation on the highway track is finished. Now we're going to activate one more track. We activate the mountain track. We go to the action phase. At the end of this phase, +4 supplies. If a player unit is in the mall district, place the goodies marker on that space as a reminder. Don't mind if I do. The mall district is right there. Alrighty then. Remember, moving through town center is free thanks to Mayor Hernandez being there. So that will be pretty cool. We get 2 event actions. Again, no pressure events yet. Again, it's only chapter 1, so not the most unusual thing. We do want to get Otto back in place where he can start training some peeps. So we're going to spend an event action to go here. So Otto is now in the mall district. We have one of these defiant markers now, so we're going to spend another action to train up our level 4 civilians. I'm going to spend an action and a supply to build a barricade here. Actually, I don't want to move Bob Bauer that far out. Let's move him here. I think that extra movement could be important. So we're just, last turn when I moved Bauer up there, I just moved Bob Bauer there instead. So now we have our first barricade on the board. And we just have one more action. Who do I want to move? Always tempted to move this guy where he can be in a better place. We'll leave him here for now, though. Bob's going to stay there. Letitia might as well stay there. So she's not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. Otto is in a town space. We can forage with him. Again, +1 to forage rolls. Probably makes the most sense. We rolled a 5, becomes a 6. So I'm in town center. I could take a supply or an ammo. Let's go ahead and take an ammo. Again, I have nobody that I don't have like the quartermaster. I don't have Bay Hauser, so to like try to save bullets here because she's a quartermaster. I do not have anyone that has a free, a gunshot that doesn't require ammo. I don't have Piazza that can spend 2 actions to not have to spend a gun because she's resourceful. So what I have is what I have. I'm going to have a hard time really making those 5 bullets last. So good that I am rolling well with Hauser as far as foraging goes. So that is the end of the round, the end of the turn. We are going to flip those back up for ready. There is no other housekeeping to happen. And now we go to the next event. We are already in chapter 2. That was quick. So again, in the standard solo game, you have 3 events in chapter 1 in the co-op because the standard, this is basically the fast or the short solo game. There's only going to be 2. There's no time for that. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers, we're good. Infection, I can't possibly roll a 1. Not going to worry about that. Eat, I have to eat 2. That's super rough. Again, it's another thing with the freaking Clarion Courier where I would only have to spend 1 if they were in play. It's pretty sick. Zeds are activating twice. They're activating 2 times on the place with the fewest Zeds. So I have 1 Zed, 1 Zed, 1 Zed, 1 Zed, 1 Zed. We have not had a single placement event yet. So I'm going to activate twice on the diamond track. I think that makes the most sense. So activating once, that causes a chaos marker. We should have a chaos marker here too. And then activating again, and we'll just start moving them up. And maybe we'll get lucky with the catacombs rolls and kind of slow them, impede their progress on the tunnel track. We go to the event phase. I get 3 actions. However, at the beginning of this phase, flip over all player action markers to show their spent side. These actions are not available this turn. So in a solo game, this never bothers me, but obviously the impact is a lot worse when you're playing in a co-op game. 1/21st of the way to victory, 2/21st. No one with a big trig truck, yeah, no doubt. And 1/3 of the way to victory. We're getting there. I appreciate the countdown. All right, 3-player actions. Yikes. By the way, I had the goodies from last round, so I got 4 more supplies there. That's why these markers are so huge, because when you forget, it's like, oh, you'll still have the visual cue later to remind you that you should have done something cool. Otto is going to continue his training ways. We're going to move an event there. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to now train these civilians. So again, they're no longer defiant, which is nice. And now they're also trained. So the more I can get these civilians to be better at meat shields, the better for sure. So that cost me 2 actions though. So I have 1 more action. I'm going to try to I want to get something there so that I can get Bob to go forth and, build a barricade, but I don't need to get something there just yet. So we're going to spend this action. So Bob moves 1. He moves for free because, again, Mayor Hernandez is that cool. And then we're going to move Bob 1, 2. So that's 3 movement total. And the move into town center is free. Again, another reason I didn't want to move. I rethought moving the Bob Bowers crew there. I wanted to move them there instead because now they can get around everywhere and start building barricades like the crazy construction crew that they are. So we go to the housekeeping phase. We're not restoring any order. We get these 2 tokens back and this would go away. So remember, there are 6 more chapter 2 cards. 3 of them are special events. So we're looking at least 1 brains, probably 2. It's going to be pretty bad. Those chaos markers look too much like candy corn. People who actually like candy corn might be tempted to eat them. Absolutely. Tom says, don't forget your goodies. Thank you very much. Do you have a sense for whether you'll be doing research with Doc Seaver or will he just be doing mainly medical duty? I think with the short game, you need to get 5 successful research actions just to get your super weapon. And that's assuming that's a super weapon card. So I find it's just not enough turns. Remember, you can only research once a turn, at least by using an action. If you have another special thing that gives you another research action, great. But if I had like Otto, where I could just sacrifice a unit in a hospital to get a research card, it'd be a little more tempting. If I had a G, it'd be a little more tempting. I just find that so action heavy that's going to be a hard strategy to pull off in a short game. At least pull it off quick enough to make it worth it. So we'll see, but probably not. I think I'm just going to keep Seaver around. And as I start getting units in the hospital, get those free heal actions, keep this infection thing coming down, and hopefully limit the number of unchecked outbreaks. Oh, yeah, fun fact. Last night, one of the things I was doing, beyond rolling terribly, so this did not affect the game, but every time I had an outbreak, so even for infection rolls, I was putting out super Zeds, and then I realized this morning, I was like, oh, yeah, I was making the game way harder on myself because that's a lot of super Zeds. All right, brains. Speak of the devil, here we go. So we have our first pressure event. So conduct this special turn only. We are doing a Zeds placement event. All of the tracks only have 1 unit. So I'm going to put a regular Zeds unit on the track of my choice. I'm going to put this on the tunnel track. Yoink, that will go there. It is a level 5 Zeds. I'm increasing the infection level from 1 to 4, and now I'm activating all 5 tracks. So we activate the suburbs track, we activate the forest track, we activate the mountain track. Mountain track comes in, infection level goes up, defiant marker comes away. We are at a 5 to a 2 with 1 terrain shift, so it's going to be a Zeds advantage. I rolled a 4, rolling great, guys. So 3 damage. These guys are scared. They go back. They're still alive. I wish I rolled a 2. Yikes. We get a chaos marker here. And now, brains. All tracks activate with each Zeds unit advancing 1 space only. However, if the Zeds unit activation results in the combat that it wins, it immediately advances again. This dude comes in again. This goes up. It is Zeds times 3 now. It becomes Zeds times 2. I rolled an 8. I wish I rolled that last time. So 1 damage. That kills this dude. Do I want to do a saving roll? Sure. I do not save it. So this unit is out. These refugees are going to be devoured. So that's 2. I'm going to roll a die to try to save them. Nope, they're not saved. Refugees are out. That gets a chaos marker. And then these guys advance again because they won another combat. Yikes. Don't forget. Yeah, research is painful, especially if you don't have one of the characters geared towards helping you out. Ouch, Lucky's Pass. Lucky's Pass is poorly named. I think it's Lefty's Pass, but I'll call it Lucky. Oh, Lucky Strike mine. Yeah, all the way. All that was terrible. So great. Well, at least Bob's there to build a barricade, and I could try to get a unit in place and try to save all that. But yeah, I might have an unchecked outbreak before this whole brains event is over here, because now these guys come in here. It is a 5 to a 2. There is no terrain shift, so it is a Zeds times 3. This goes up. Wait, it was 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, we're good. And it's about to get really ugly. Yoink. Oh, I rolled an 11. Zeds times 3. Oh, what a waste. 1 damage, so this now flips to 2 damage side, but this dude is dead. Do I want to do a saving roll? Sure. I succeed, so infection level goes up. This guy goes in the hospital with an EKG. And that will give me something to do with Seaver while he's just kind of chilling. This dude's devoured. This advances again because they want a combat, and we get a chaos marker. Do I want to save the refugees? Not really, because you save them, then they enter town center, then they just go to the refugee camp, disequipping refugees. Yes, my epilogue is going to be worse. C'est la vie. Yikes. We're going to now activate the diamond track. They go into catacombs. They come here. All tracks are activated. That was terrible. I managed to avoid a unchecked outbreak. That might be not necessarily a great thing. And now we shall move on. So we go to the next card. Again, we still have 2 more special events, 3 more regular events in chapter 2. What do we get? It's a special. Oh, God. Brains. Yikes. All right. We're going to do a pressure event. We have to do a placement. We can place anywhere. Except for the diamond track, because the tunnel track, because the tunnel track has 2 Zeds units. Everywhere else only has 1. I'm gonna place this on the mountain track. Sure, why not? All right, correction level increases by 4. Well, it just increases the 1. Great roll, shame about the situation. Yes, my epilogue's gonna be worse. Spoken like someone who truly doesn't care about scoring in games. Yep, that is absolutely me. And now we have to do an unchecked outbreak. So unfortunately, this is going to happen before the tracks activate, because now we're going to add a Super Zeds who will also be part of this wonderful activation. So I'm rolling the number of dice. I rolled a 10. That's a great roll. So we go down to 3. So again, the extra 3 infection is just lost. So we carried that out. Now we do the unchecked outbreak. I'm going to draw a fate card, and this is going to determine where I need to place the Super Zeds. I need to place the Super Zeds on the forest. That is awful. So... and you'll see why. So the Super Zeds we're going to get for today, there are 9 different Super Zeds. We get the Leapers. Leapers come in with a 4. That does immediately trigger a combat. All right, so we're going to carry this combat out. This is not the brains yet. We have to do this combat because we just placed the Zeds there. Before we do that, major malfunction, remove 1 super weapon component if you have discovered a super weapon. Otherwise, add 1 random early research card to the top of the research deck. I'm just going to add a research card. That goes there. And now we're going to carry out this combat. That does mean infection level increase. Remember, those are trained civilians. So it is a 4 to a 4, plus I have a terrain shift. So it is a 5 to a 4. I mean, it's a 4 to a 4, human advantage. So we shift there. Please don't roll like crap. I rolled a 2. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Okay, so they're injured. We flip that over. And 1 damage. The refugees were like, oh man, what's going on? They're going to come back here. And now we put a chaos marker here. Just unbelievable. That was not a brains attack, so the dude does not continue to advance. Yikes. Now we have to activate all of our tracks. Great. So this Zeds unit comes in here. This defiant marker goes away. It is a 4 to this infection level goes up. So it's a 4 to a 3. So it's Zed's advantage. We have a terrain shift. So it is a equal to, I rolled a 9. That's more like it. So 2 damage to the Zeds, 1 damage to our civilian. And since he lost, he just backs up and we don't have to worry about the suburbs track anymore. We now have to worry about the forest track. We have to worry about every other track. So the leapers come in. We are in the farm. We get a terrain shift. I am still trained, so I'm actually a 3. So this goes up. It is a Zeds advantage. It becomes an equal 2 because of the terrain shift. We're rolling. Please roll me a 7 or higher. I rolled a 3. Wow. Okay. So toast, devoured. So 2 there. I am going to do a saving roll. We failed that because why would I? So this comes off and this unit just goes into here. Chaos marker, leapers advance, and then this dude just advances the once. The mount track, this advances, chaos marker, this advances, and now the highway track, this advances. When was that dude added? Oh, the pressure event there, right. That advances. Now the diamond track, we do have to do a catacombs roll. It's a 1. We advance normally. That gets a chaos marker, and this dude advances. So we're down to 3 chaos markers because of those brains events. That is super scary. Yikes. And Bob's, all of a sudden, this guy went from all the way here to there, and Bob hasn't even had a chance to build his barricade yet, which makes me a little unhappy. So I think I've activated everything appropriately. Yep, we started there. That was the only combat I actually won. Yay, civilians in the suburbs. Next event. Oh, we got all 3 super events in a row, and we are activating the mountain track, and this makes me very unhappy. Rangers, refugees, rescuers, nothing. At the end of this phase, immediately place this to 13 to conduct an unchecked outbreak. We're getting another super Zeds, and then we have to do a movement pressure event, and then a placement pressure event. So at the end of this phase, so we do 1, 2. So we're going to do 1 first. This comes here. We do an unchecked outbreak. Please roll high. I rolled a 9. That's good. This goes down to a 4. We're going to draw a fate draw to determine where we're putting a zombies. It is another bad event. Yikes. Players, I'll just put this here. Players in town center cannot move for the remainder of the thing. I have the super Zeds going into the forest, which means we have a super Zeds going to be right behind the leapers. And what is this? Oh, these are the toxic. What are they? These are the oozers. They are going to go in the chaos space closest to town center, and they are going to do a +3 infection every time they do a hand-to-hand combat instead of just the +1. Now we're going to do the pressure event. So we want to find the strongest Zeds unit in play. That's a 5, 5, 6, 4. I think the 6 is going to win. The 6 is going to advance because of that pressure event. Now we do a placement pressure event. So we have 2, 2, 1, 1. I'm going to add a regular Zeds on the highway track. Yeah, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3. So I could choose either the highway track or the suburbs track. Highway track for the win. Now we are activating the highway track. So we get a unit that comes here and up. We're activating the mountain track. This unit comes in. I have no terrain shift. This is really bad. Infection level goes up. It is a Zeds advantage. Come on, Bauer. Go big. Oh, got a 6. 1 damage. 3 damage. Bob Bauer backs up. It's not a brains event, so he can stop right there. This guy activates, and now we do the diamond track. We're doing a catacombs roll. Please roll 4 or 5. Oh, a 6. He's lost. We're doing a lost roll of 4. So this dude backs up to here. He already activated once. He doesn't reactivate. This guy comes in the catacombs, and we're good. We go to the action phase. I have 1 event action, and I feel like I haven't taken an action in, 4 hours. All right, what's going on? I might have tried research given you had no real combat units, but yeah, not much time to get it done. Now I'm imagining Greg's wrongly played game where he was just applying super Zeds with a fire hose. That must have been so painful. Greg, please don't roll like crap. The universe, what's that you say? I didn't hear you. This is where I would flip the table. Xavier is like, ouch, this is going to be a quick game. I still believe, guys. I don't know. The problem is I can't move in town center, so I can't even try to save this barricade. And a Bauer can't, there's no point building a barricade on east side, so Bauer is just kind of sitting there. Oh, this is bad. All right. Well, here's what I can do. I'm going to move one with Otto, or spend one action to move Otto. Otto is going to train these guys for another action because he can. And why not? I can't even get Seaver in the hospital to spend his... Oh, wait. He can't move. He can heal. But he has to be, so he can do his first aid, which is probably good. Let's do that. So we're going to do the first aid action and spend a supply. So we can't move, but he can still do actions. And he's going to, did I reduce that already? I don't think I did. We're going to reduce that and take this off. Yeah, I reduced the supply. I didn't reduce the infection, I think. Someone could tell me if I have one more infection than I think I have. All right, so that's fine. So we use the first aid ability, not the medical ability. He has to be in the staff office for the medical ability. No one's close enough for a gunfire. I can't get anyone onto the mall district, so that's super fun. And by super fun, I mean not great. I only have 3 chaos markers left, so that's a problem. Not a lot going well here, guys. But everyone's trained. That's fine. I can start healing this guy if I want to just spend an action to heal. Makes probably not that much sense. I'm just going to put Seaver in the staff office to start doing that in the future. So I'm just trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with this last thing. I'm going to forage with Agent Wright because Mayor Hernandez is there, so she'll get +1 to her forage abilities. So we rolled a 6. I will take an ammo. More ammo at this point, the better, especially with the Citadel action just chilling there. So that's done. End of action. These go here. I'm going to get the first aid ability back. This comes here. I'm going to check the chat. Greg, I came in late, so apologies if you already addressed this, but when you wrap up, I'd love to hear a recap about what these multiplayer rules bring and whether they just make the game harder. Yeah, that's a good question. I was actually... When I first started, like I'll try to adjust it a little bit now and kind of think about it as we play. I think they do give you more to do if you're playing co-op. So I think it makes sense if you're playing co-op. It's like, hey, we have a bunch more actions, so there's like more to talk about. I have played this co-op a couple of times. I don't prefer it over playing solo. I think it does make a little bit more dynamism in the player phase because you have more actions to play with, and I kind of do like the extra pressure. You know, and I think it does make things like, hey, I'm going to spend a bunch of actions on barricades a little more interesting. You know, if you have a G, it does say, all right, we can try to really pummel through that research deck quicker. If you have, you know, Xeno and you have units that you're going to sacrifice to try to get through the research deck. So it gives you, I think it gives you more room to like play with different strategies. But beyond that, you know, I mean, I think solo, if you want a longer game with more cards in the event deck, I mean, you're probably better off just sticking solo for sure. But, you know, it has a different feel, a different flavor. So I think from a replayability standpoint, I think it does add a bit to the game. So I'm glad those rules are there, but I'll definitely consider if I have anything more to add as we wrap this thing up, which might be pretty quick. Hey, oh God. Well, it's not a special event, but it's not great. All right, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. I have no refugees because all the refugees I had were devoured. Oh, that's such a garbage card. Oh man, these are ridiculous Chapter 2 cards. All right. Yeah, I literally can't use them. So I have no refugees, so we're good. Infection, I have to roll higher than a 4. I rolled a 10. Eat, I have to eat 1. And Zeds, we're activating all tracks at the beginning of this phase. Place a new Zeds unit on the start space of every track. Apply the tracking limit if necessary. So we're getting a Zeds unit in the suburbs track. That is a 6er. We're getting a Zeds unit in the forest track. That's a 7. We're getting a Zeds unit in the mountain track. It's a 5. We're getting a Zeds unit in the highway track. That is a 4. And we're getting a Zeds unit in the tunnel track. Activating all tracks. Oh, it's an 8. Yikes. This guy comes in. Infection level goes up. It's a 4 to a 3, but this unit's trained, so it's a 5 to a 4, and then it's human times 2 because of the terrain shift. So trained can make a huge difference. Of course, I rolled a 5, so I'm not going to take full advantage of it, but I do 2 damage. So this dude flips and gets a marker on it. It's now a 1 strength, but I also suffer a damage, which is unfortunate. So my trained unit goes from a 3 down to a 2. This unit also activates, and now we have a Zeds mob on 6th Street. Up here, the Leapers advance, Oozers advance, this dude advances, this dude advances. Mountain track, this guy comes in, infection level goes up, it's a 5 to a 2, so that's Zeds times 2, except we get a double terrain shift. So it's at equal to, and I rolled an 11. Oh, huge. All right, 3 damage, so this guy backs up, still has 1 health thing on there and only 1 damage to Bob Bauer. So that heal ability kind of kept him alive. So that first aid ability was really, really nice. So that will stop there. This dude advances. This dude advances. And now the highway track advances. It destroys the barricade, which makes me very sad. And this dude advances. This dude advances. Diamond track back into the catacombs. We're doing a catacombs roll for this dude. It's a 6. He's lost. Come on, roll me a 5 one time. Oh, 5. Oh, so when you're lost, if you roll the place where it is, it's just defeated. Otherwise, you would just move it to the number of where it needs to go. So that was really fortuitous. And we go there. So you're saying there's a chance. We got a comeback, man. I feel it. I feel a comeback. We get 3 event actions. Check in the chat. Will said that expands the possibility, especially by adding more actions for more flexibility as a counter to more pushback from the AI. Yeah. But it also makes sense why they do not recommend like the long games or the epic games. Like they'd say don't do that with the co-op rules. And I could see why. It'd be too just insanely hard to really make that work. Whew. Okay, so we got some problems. I'm going to do the Citadel action to give a free gunfire attack to Special Agent Wright. By free, I mean free action, but we do have to spend the ammo. Agent Wright, whenever she attacks, she gets +1, and then the Citadel action gives her another +1. So she's attacking, and that does stack. So she's attacking with a gunfire attack of a 6 against that Zed unit in downtown. Because, oh, that should also be a chaos marker. Yikes. So hopefully we roll really well here. We rolled an 8. An 8 is 3 damage. So this flips. It's got 1 health left. And that's fine because I already had 2 markers on there. All right, we have to obviously take care of that dude. I'm going to spend an action to move this special forces unit into here. That is going to initiate hand-to-hand combat. So that goes up. And we're not defending, so we don't get the terrain shift, but it's still a 3 to a 1. So it's human times 3. I rolled an 8, so no damage. This unit is out. And then we'll restore order there in the housekeeping phase, which is nice. All right. Bob is hurting. All of this is bad. All of this is bad. I'm going to spend an action to move these guys here. I'm going to do the first aid action and spend a supply to do that. Reduces that. We're going to spend an action to move Seaver into the hospital. He's going to spend his medical action to heal this dude. So the EKG comes off, that goes down, and we get a damage on there. I have my 2 tokens here now. I think I just have to risk the mount track a little bit. We got Bob Bauer. Bob Bauer is rolling well. Bob Bauer is rolling well. Ooh, all this is ugly. Don't know if it makes sense just to forage, but I don't hate the idea either. Leapers, oozers. Trying to think where I'm at risk of getting a chaos marker. I mean, that's at risk. This is at risk. This is at risk. I'm going to heal that one. Pretty much have to keep the suburbs track on lockdown right now. Well, forage. So it doesn't matter who I forage with. He gets +1 to rolls. I'll actually forage with Right because she can get us some more ammo. She rolls a 1, foraging again. She rolls a 1. Those are both done. Yeah, there was nothing else obvious for me to do. I mean, I could have arguably put Right there, but I like her in town center to try to take advantage of the mayor's citadel ability. So we go to the housekeeping phase. This goes up and we restore order there. These flip. Do we only have 3 of those tokens left? No. Did I put that in the wrong spot? Where did I put this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, we only have 3 chaos tokens left. Yikes. All right. Done. So wasted 2 actions foraging, and still don't regret that decision because I'm gonna need supplies for sure. Anyway, we are gonna go to the next event card. A hero arrives! Thank God. All right, Rangers, Raiders, Refugees, Rescuers. None of that applies. I have to roll higher than a 6. I rolled an 8. Good. Eat. I have to roll higher than a 1. I rolled a 6. I'm wasting all the big rolls. Activating on the forest track. So this dude comes in. This goes up. I am trained, so it's a 6 to a 4, and then it becomes human times 3 because of the mall district terrain shift. I rolled a 5. Garbage. 3 damage. He backs up. 1 damage to my unit, though. Not want to lose them. The oozers come in, and they come in, and they come in. Activating on the suburbs track. This mob comes in. This goes up. It is a 7 to a 4, which is a Zeds advantage. It becomes equal to because of the terrain shift. I rolled a 4. What an amazing roll. These guys are dead. I'm going to do a saving roll. I failed, so they're out. These guys are scared and move back here, and now we have a chaos marker here. Suburbs track is done being activated. Highway track activates, moves forward. We have 2 event actions. At the beginning of this phase, place a new random hero. I have 17 heroes left. I rolled a 16, which gets us General Lee. I don't really hate that. I would have preferred someone a little more combat oriented. Alyssa Wright, even Bouncing Betty could have really paid some dividends here, but we can get a horse. Now I can put it in town center or any start space. Obviously, General Lee is going to be a lot more useful in town center right now. So we have the thoroughbred action. All right, so General Lee can carry 1 non-mounted human or primate hero at 1 unit at a time. The hero makes a free ride as part of General Lee's movement. General Lee and his rider act as 1 for stacking purposes. Any hero stacked with General Lee gets +1 strength. It does not increase their infection when they engage in hand-to-hand combat. Thoroughbred General Lee receives 1 free move action each action phase. Place a thoroughbred marker on this card to keep track of when you have used this ability. Horse sense. When this unit has no rider, it cannot voluntarily enter a chaos or tunnel space. A horse is a horse. The unit never increases infection. When attacking or defending in hand-to-hand combat, it cannot build barricades, use vehicles, restore order, or make a rest. Run, flick, or run. This unit and its rider can choose to retreat before attacked in hand-to-hand combat. Oh, how exciting. What do I want to do? Oof. Yeah, I have to get Bob somewhere. 5 times 2. This is bad. Yeah, I gotta start shooting those guys for sure. Yeah, so much for my barricade efforts. So I got 4 actions. That's bad. Otto's not doing much good here. All right, I'm going to use Thoroughbred to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to protect Otto a little bit, because remember we can just retreat for free. Saved by the Catacombs. You're in such a defensive situation with these characters. This is like a turtling crew, and your only bite is right, and however much ammo you can muster, and you roll 2 1s. Amazing. Here comes the cavalry. The bad news: leaders mean no terrain shift. Leaders mean leapers. Oh. Right. Leapers do mean no terrain shift. Thank you. What should have happened? Generally might literally be the worst character for your current situation. Sleeper series, you can think of a worst character roll up. Leapers, just Leroy Jenkins, a poor horse on the highway track, but I think my Here Comes the Cavalry comment was prophetic. All right, what did I roll? I had a 6 to a 4. So I rolled on I must have rolled a 5. Right, so it was 2 damage. Thank you. So 2 damage. Ooh, so 2 damage there injured, and it was only 2 damage here. Right, leapers negate all terrain shift. So we still won because it was still a human advantage, but obviously that makes my situation there a lot more precarious. Yeesh. All right, well, let me do this. I'm going to do move action with this unit into the hospital. We're going to do the medical, reduce this, and to flip them back over. And then I think move them back here. I don't love it, but obviously that's my biggest point of concern right now. And then we're going to move up, and then we'll do a gunfire attack with a gunfire attack of a 5 against she +1. She gets +1 shift. So we're using 1 of my ammo. We're attacking with a 5, and I rolled an 8. So 2 5. Oh, 3 damage. Ooh. We'll flip this dude to a 2, and we'll do 2 damage. Oh, no terrain shift is rough. We'll do 2 damage to the oozers. And hopefully shore that up. So yeah, Bob Builder's crew is like, we just want to build barricades. What's going on? All right, housekeeping phase. Yeah, generally. Of course, I got the horse. Here we go. Is that the end of chapter 2? No, I have one more chapter 2 card, and it's not a special event. So you're saying there's a chance. What do we get? Mountain Knight Assault. It could be worse. All right, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Infection phase need to roll higher than an 8 or a 7. I rolled exactly a 7, so we get a normal outbreak. So I draw a fake card. Oh, yes, a hero arrives. We're putting a unit where in the place with the most Zeds units. So I have 4 units in the forest track. I have 3 units in the mountain track, 2, 2, and 2. So we have to put this in the place with the closest to town center with the chaos marker, which is in the farm. And during the action phase, we can place a new random hero unit in town center or any start space. We get another chance to get a better unit. And that was a perfect roll. So infection levels actually all the way at 0 until I get the next card, which is like, do an unchecked outbreak, get all the way up to 13. Awesome. Eat. I need to roll higher than a 1. I rolled a 2. Don't show off. And now we go to the Zeds phase. The beginning of this phase, +1 infection for each unit on the mountain track. So that's 3. There's 1, 2, 3 units there. Place a new Zeds unit on the mountain track start space. So we're getting a 4th unit there. And now we do a pressure event. And I think that pressure event, well, this is only a 7 because I was managed to flip that. That's a 7. This is an 8. So the pressure event is going to apply to this dude because he's the strongest Zeds unit / Zeds mob on the board. So that was really important that I got him down. Defending units receive no terrain shifts this phase. That's terrible. Well, yeah, it's not great. So Mountain Track is activating only once. This comes in. This goes up. It is a 3 to a 2, so Zed's advantage. I would like an 8 or higher, please. I rolled a 6. So 1 damage to this. So still alive. Chaos marker. And Bob is dead. Can I save him? Nope. Bob is super dead. So much for barricade strategy for real. Out. Move these over. Make space for another hero, kids. Yeah, I couldn't really build any barricades anyway because I only have 4 supplies left. And obviously they're going to go pretty quick. We now go to the rest of the activations there, and there. 1 event action. I think auto still chills there. We obviously have to get this cleaned up. All right, let me do this before I forget. So we're going to do the medical action. This goes down. This is flipped. We're going to spend this action to move her back here. We're going to spend a citadel action and a bullet to do a gunfire attack of a 6. I rolled a 10. What a waste of a 10. This dude's dead. We're going to do the thoroughbred action to go. Oh, yeah, that's probably best. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a free movement. We're just going to end there. Again, Flicko, General Lee will go in if there's a rider. Obviously, that's a chaos base. That's a chaos base. We're definitely pushing it on the chaos, but the campground is kind of low-hanging fruit to fix that. We could also, if we kill this dude, we could also kind of get to Dr. Martuse's office and fix that. So we got some possibilities there. I still have these 2 actions, and I'm going to play this A Hero Arrives card. So I have 16 heroes left up there. I rolled a 3. We get El Toro Loco. That's what I like to see. All right, that's could be really helpful. We'll place a new in either town center or start space. He will be going at the town center. El Toro Loco, when he launches a hand-to-hand attack on a Zeds unit or Zeds mob, roll a die. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, you conduct that attack normally. If it is a 4, 5, or 6, that Zeds unit or mob suffers 1 hit and retreats. No actual combat takes place, so there is no infection level increase. This ability is not working at Super Zeds. He takes 4 hits to eliminate. And mediocre marksman, his gunfire attacks are at half strength, so he is a 3 or 2 for gunfire. So he's at a 6 on this side, his current side. I think we have to gamble with him for sure. I really like that pull. I do. So, Gamblelicious. We're going to spend this. Gamblelicious is a new word. We're going to go in here. I'm rolling a die. Please roll a 4, 5, or 6. I rolled a 4. Woo! This was on here, I think. Yeah, that's huge. All right, so Zeds mob suffers 1 hit. We're going to flip this guy, and they retreat. No increase. The oozers are stronger than the leapers, so they stay there. The leapers, because of stacking limits, has to go back there, and El Toro Loco is feeling himself. And now El Toro Loco is going to spend this action and 2 resources to put a barricade here. Oh, the leaper's there. That makes no sense. Never mind. I was just joking. Haha. Wow, we're in trouble. This is bad. Forage? I don't hate foraging. And he can't move again. He's stuck there. So I can't even get up to that campground to try to restore that order. If I go to the nuclear power plant, that seems kind of a self-defeating move. I think I bring El Toro Loco back. Yeah, because he's not really defended well there, and I do not want to lose him too quickly. So we're just going to bring him back to... bring him back to town center. All right. Housekeeping phase. Infection level goes up. This is restored. We're going to flip these. I still have my motivational speech. This is out. And we draw the next event card. We are in chapter 3. Woo! All right. It's probably just going to be Pickles. I'm guessing Pickles. Naichi's Afflictator was a badass nice. A luchador is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he needs to. Ex-Hunter says, laugh out loud. Gotta take the pooch out. Good luck, Greg. Thank you, sir. Well, Raiders, Rangers, refugees. We have the only refugees on the board. They're going to flee back a little bit. And we have to do an affection roll. I need a 5 or higher. I rolled a 10. Eat. I need a 2 or higher. I rolled a 2. Don't show off. Now, Zeds phase. So, Doc, we've got a problem. At the beginning of this phase, +1 for each unit in a hospital bed or in a staff office. That is 2. So we get up to 6. Remove the Elwood Barra marker if in play. It is not in play, so we don't have to worry about that. And now we do a Zeds pressure event. Again, there's 2 player markers. So we're just doing 1 Zeds pressure event. I have 2 units, 5 units, 3 units, 2 units, and 2 units. I could put this in the starting phase. I will obviously put this in the tunnel track. And that makes me happy. All right, now we have to do a Zeds movement event. The 8 is still the strongest. Oh, that's also strongest. They are tied. That's 8. That's 8. Remember, because the leapers and this was only a 7, but since we moved them back, so this pressure event means that they move forward there, which is not ideal. Yikes. So they are, the strongest unit on the board for sure. We get 3. Oh, now we have to, that was the beginning of the phase. Now we have to actually carry out the activations. But wait, there's more. So this comes in. This goes up 3. 1, 2, 3. It is an 8 to a 6. We do get a terrain shift because the leapers are no longer part of that mob. So it's Zed's advantage becomes human times 2. Don't fail me now. A 4. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Great. I mean, that's amazing. So we're going to do that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 damage on them, 3 damage to these guys, which means that they're dead. Will they be saved? No, of course not. Why would they be saved? Why would I ever save my 4 unit? So this guy goes here. This is out. I don't know why I love this game so much. I just roll so bad. This goes here. This goes here. We activate the suburbs track. Oh, are we going to lose? Oh, it's going to come down to that. Well, the catacombs roll too. So these guys activate. That gets a chaos marker. We have no more chaos markers to play with. We activate the diamond track. Catacombs roll. It's a 2. They advance normally. Infection level goes up. It's Zed's advantage. I need a 7 or higher or we have lost the game. I rolled a 7. 2 damage. They back up. 2 damage. He flips. This guy goes here. This guy goes here. So you're saying there's a chance. 3 event actions. Yikes. What is happening? Ooh, okay, first aid. No, medical. This goes down. We'll flip this and get a health marker on it. And, well, maybe we can try to train it. Because Otto is right there. We're going to do the thoroughbred to move here to try to get that chaos marker back. Just low-hanging fruit at this point. Oh, man. Five more actions. We're going to do the Citadel action and a bullet to do a gunfire attack of a 6 with Special Agent Wright. She rolls a 6. So that's 2 damage. We get rid of the oozers. Super Zeds come out of the game. They don't go back in the bag. They're just defeated. think we have to go in with El Toro Locos. We still have 5 actions left, which is kind of amazing. So El Toro Loco is going to Joe in. Re-roll 4, 5, or 6, please. Nope, it's a 1. Normal hand-to-hand combat, so +1 in the affection. And we are 6 to a 5. We are not defending, so we don't get the terrain shift. He doesn't have... I thought like Toro Loco was rugged or something. He's not. So just human advantage, 6 to a 5. I rolled a 12. Oh, what a beautiful thing. That's 4 damage. They back up. No damage to me and a marker. And we're going to restore that order as well. So this becomes less crucial because we're restoring twice. But obviously, that's not great. Obviously not great. That's at risk of being a chaos marker. I have 4 more actions. I'm going to use at least 2 to forage and hopefully get a couple more ammo. So I'm going to use 2 to forage from foraging twice in a row. I rolled a 6 ammo. Come on, baby. Oh, a 5 becomes a 6 because the Mayor Hernandez another ammo. Huge. Makes up for the 1-1 from before for sure. I have 2 more actions. This is nuts. I use a thoroughbred. Otto's a 4 to a 5 with the terrain shift. I mean, I can kind of start sacrificing him at this point. Doesn't do much for me. What am I gonna do? I don't want to keep... I'm going to move here, and then we're going to do a player action, spend 2, and get a barricade, and just try to really make that a much stronger highway track. This guy might be able to hold that down for the rest of the game, and we're protecting that from getting a chaos marker. Alrighty then. I mean, I could also just move him here, but I just feel like it's a losing battle. At some point, they're going to take that back. It's going to be really hard to hold them off the nuclear power plant. It's going to be really hard to hold them off there, to be honest. All right, we go to housekeeping. Flip all these over. Infection level goes up 2. This comes off. This comes off. Back to 2 chaos markers in the supply. Everyone in the city is chanting El Toro Loco's name right now. Where did that 12 come from, says Tom. Yeah, sometimes I wonder. So this goes away. Woo! That was a first action. So we have 3 special events and 3 regular events. I mean, a brains event. Oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, a hero arrives. We got another one. All right, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees. We're going to roll. I need to roll a 13. I don't think it's going to happen. I rolled an 8. So we have a fate draw. We're putting a regular event, a regular Zeds on the highway track in the nuclear power plant. Glad I did not move that dude there. Again, it's a closest space with a chaos marker close to the town center. We get the sturdy vehicles commandeered. Play during a hero's move action to gain +3 movement. Points for the move action. These points can only be spent to move between above ground spaces. You can't use it in the tunnel and cannot be used by Pickles or Horatius. Excellent. We have it says 0. We have to activate the highway track. This goes here, here, and here. Activate the suburbs track. This Zeds mob is going to come in here. This goes up. It's a 7 to a 2. It's actually a 7 to a 4 because I'm trained. So it becomes Zed's advantage. Terrain shift makes it a equal to. I rolled a 9. 2 damage. This one, I mean, I might as well just eliminate that one, right? Because you have the things that replace Zeds and stuff. Yeah, just eliminate that. That's a super Zeds bag. 1 damage to the civilians. I mean, yeah, I don't think it makes sense to try to do 2, and then you have a brains event that removes damage markers, and I'm just no better for it. So that's fine. So that activated, and now we activate the forest track. Comes in, this goes up. It is a 6 to a 3, and then 2 terrain shifts, so it's human times 3. I rolled a 6. That is 1 damage to El Toro Loco, but again, he is like a civilian, so he doesn't flip right away. This guy's dead. Leapers advance. This dude advances. All right. At the beginning of the action phase, we get 2 event actions. We are going to place a new random available unit. I have 15 of those suckers left. I rolled a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wilson the Hermit. Wilson, I don't really want to see you right now. You're terrible. All right, Scavenger. He rolls 2 dice for conducting a forage action. I mean, I guess that's fine. We can just forage with him a little bit. Lucky Charm. When Wilson is stacked with another player unit, but not in town center, that unit can roll an extra die for all their rolls, including combat and saving rolls, and select which die or dice to use to determine the outcome. All right, that could be good too. If I just keep him there, maybe I don't hate this. Shortcut. As part of a move action, Wilson can move from any space to the same numbered space on an adjacent track for 1 movement point. A player unit in the same space as Wilson may take a shortcut as part of its own movement. While in play, the top card of the Fate draw pile can be expected at any time. I'll just play with it face up. So Suburbs, great. Liquid Courage, that could be nice. It's another hold for later, so not a bad one. We have to do a Zeds pressure event. 7, 7, 8. So it's a movement event. So this guy's doing a Catacombs roll. It's a 6. He's lost. 4. He moves there anyway. Glad it was not a 2 or a 1. All right. Now what? Good question, Greg. Now what? Oh, those leapers are bad. Those leapers are bad. General Lee's still chilling there. How do I feel about Chaos? I don't love it. We're going to do the medical action to reduce that. They're fully healed, and we'll just kick them out the town center. I don't know, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it. Could just give everyone a forage action. Oh, the extra roll does not count F in town center. That's important. I put him up there with El Toro Loco. Sure. Action. We're just going to stack him with El Toro Loco. Until those leapers go away. Chaos, chaos. Oosh. It's not really well defended anywhere. Who's she attacking? I think we move her to the campground. She's our only one that can fire bullets. She's the only one that can fire bullets, Greg. Why would you move her out of town center? I'm going to move this dude here. 1, 2, 3. So it's actually free in there. And now he's going to spend his first aid action and a supply to heal this unit. And that reduces the infection. I have these 2 actions left. Tempted to do motivational speech. It's probably better to hold off on that. We're going to do this guy out here, and then we're going to train them with Otto. Okay. We go to the housekeeping phase. Yeah, that's right. I use that for the training. That's right. We go to the housekeeping phase. I'm going to be not restoring order anywhere. And this goes away. We get to the next event. So we have 5 more chapter 3. 3 of them are special events. Oh, wow. Well, we'll see. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Refugees go in. At the beginning of this phase, so they're actually going to be part of this movement. At the beginning of this phase, place a Raiders unit on the start space of the above ground track with the most chaos. Your choice if there is a tie. It moves 1 space per turn, including this turn, toward town center. If it arrives, you lose its strength value in both supplies and ammo. So we get the Raiders, the most chaos, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So I can choose. I will choose to put you. I'm the least set up to do stuffing here, and we can start maybe healing some of this chaos as we go. So they're going to move 1 because they are the Raiders. Good. So at the beginning, you place them, then Raiders, Rangers, Refugees. I already moved the Refugees. I just moved them out of order. Infection roll, I need higher than a 4, so I need a 5 or better. I rolled a 4. This goes down to 0. Well, we know it's good, but we're putting another Zeds on the suburbs track. They are going to go into Farmingdale University because it is the closest space with the chaos marker. And now that's a Zeds mob, which is really nasty. Awesome. So you head to Reggie's Roadhouse for a brief respite and to gather your courage before the next onslaught. Play this card at the beginning of any hand-to-hand combat for a 1-time 2 terrain shift or 2 shift. After that fight, however, the player unit suffers 1 hit, and then we can flip over the next fate card. Oh, that's really bad. Yep, don't like it. All right. So we did that eat phase. There's no one in the hospital, so that's fine. And now we go to the Zeds. The Zeds are activating on the suburbs track. So this comes in, this goes up. It's a 10 to a 4. So it's Zeds times 2. We get a terrain shift, which makes it Zeds advantage. I would like a 12. An 8. I win. All right, 2 damage. And they back up. 2 damage to my player unit. They flip over. They're still alive. And these guys, oh yeah, they haven't, they're still not, they're still defiant villagers. They're not scared, but you can see the +2 from Otto, man. What a, it's the only thing that's like saving this game right now. We're activating on the highway, on the forest track. These guys come in, no terrain shift. This does go up. I get to roll an extra die because I'm stacked with Wilson the Hermit, and he's my lucky charm. I'm rolling 3 dice. It is a 6 to a 7. So it's Zed's advantage. Come on, lucky charm. I rolled a 1, 2, 3. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, that's so terrible. All right. Zed's advantage. I rolled a 1, 2, 3. So that's a 5. Oh, it's so bad. That's so ridiculous. I get 3 damage, which kills me. Yikes. Hermit comes back. 1 damage to these guys. Chaos marker. Saving roll. Does he roll 2? No. He's not saved, so El Toro Loco is out. What a horrible turn of events. So much for my lucky charm. That was ridiculous. I don't even think I would have used this. Like, why would I have used this? That's so stupid. I'm rolling 3 dice. Oh, man, that was bad. All right, well, that's the thing I need to deal with now. And you can go hang out in the cemetery. Great. This guy activates. That's done. We get 1 event action. And what's going on? All right, where did the 12 come from? We're still... We're still stuck on that. And I don't know if they're saying El Toro Loco's name right now anymore because we just got decimated. So bad. All right. Well, Agent Wright's going to have to fire off a bunch of bullets, it seems. We're going to do this action. Nope. We're going to do the Citadel action and a bullet. I'm attacking with a gunfire attack of a 6. I rolled an 8. 3 damage. Yeah, I think we kill the Leapers. We flip this clown. No, I think we kill the leapers while we have the chance. Super Zeds out. We're doing this action and an ammo. We're attacking with a 4, becomes a 5 because Agent Wright is special. She rolls a 9, 3 damage. That flips. Oh, man. You have to restore that order. I'm going to do Thoroughbred. Move in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a 3 to a 4. It becomes a 4 to a 3 because it was a 3 to a 3 because a 4 to a 3, no infection level increase. And 4 to a 3, it's human advantage. And Otto just one time, man. Otto's tough too. So remember, he suffers any damage, it's fine. 4 to a 3. We rolled a 9, big roll, 3 damage. So this guy's out. Otto would suffer 1 damage. We're doing our tough roll. It's big. He cancels that hit, and we're going to restore order there. So that was the Thoroughbred action. So we still have 2 player actions, right? Because, yeah, Agent might fire twice. I think we need to just scavenge, and I'm tempted to do just motivational speech. Hermit. Yeah, we have very few resources. That's bad. Yeah, it's time. I need resources. I have 2 bullets in one supply. I'm going to do this first aid action and the last supply and reduce that to get him back to full health. I have 1 chaos marker here. I'm going to get 2. That's going to go away. Oh, I could lose easy. I'm going to do motivational speech. Everyone is just going to forge their face off. Yeah, so Hauser's going to go first. He's going to get +2 to his roll. Can she forge? Horse or horse? The horse can forge. Nice. All right, so Hauser's going to get +2 to his roll. He rolls a 6. We'll take an ammo. The horse is going to roll, gets +1 to its roll. It rolls a 4. We'll take a supply. Every other player unit, so he doesn't get the extra action himself, but Special Agent Wright is going to roll, gets a 5. We can make it a 6. I'll actually take another supply. I think that's better. We're going to spend a player action. Oh, and Wilson the Hermit's there too. He didn't do his yet. Wilson's going to roll 2 dice. He gets a 5. We'll take an ammo. We're going to spend a player action and our 2 supplies to get a barricade here. And I have 1 more player action. I'm going to forge again with Wilson the Hermit. He gets +1 to his die rolls. If we get a 6, let me take a supply. We get a 4 and a 6. Let me, is the supply worth it? Honestly, I could start taking hits to player units, although a lot of my units are hurting. Now I'll take this little 1 supply. Especially with this first aid action I've been using a lot. All right. Well, not the most impressive use of motivational speech I ever had, but back to 4 ammo and feel like I needed to do that for sure. Let's move on. So we're going to have a lot of special events coming up. This could get ugly real quick. We only have 1 more regular event and 3 more special events in Chapter 3. It is... Oh, the National Guard arrives! Woo! All right, Fate Draw. Oh, garbage. Replace. So where the National Guard goes in the place of the least chaos, we have 2, 2, 2, 3. Oh, this restored. So this goes up. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So I can put this wherever the heck I want. I'll put the National Guard over here, and hopefully they can start restoring order there. Remember, the Raiders restore order and the National Guard restores order, so that could actually work to our favor. Now we do the plot twist. Replace the weakest Zeds unit, even if it is a super Zeds unit or a disease spreader, with a new regular Zeds unit. If there was a tie, replace all the weakest units with new regular units, remove all hit markers from all Zeds units. So this 2 goes away. That's the only... Oh, this also goes away. That's rough. So we lost 4 hits. 4, 6, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, 5. Oof. The weakest is a 4. Replace. All right. I will replace this 4. That's bananas. And none of them are flipped. So they all have 6 health left. That's crazy. And that's a 5er. All right, well, that fake card is done. The National Guard is in play, though, so we have only 9 cards left. The National Guard unit may move 1 space per 4R space and phase and 1 space per move action. It costs this unit 2 ammo to make a gunfire attack. It cannot use a super weapon until it gets to a town or town center space. After placing the National Guard unit, this turn is over. Draw the next event. What is it? Brains! Okay, we're doing a Zeds. So conduct this special turn only. We're doing a placement special or placement pressure event. We have 3 units, 2 units, 1 unit. So has to go there for sure. I might not even get to another 4R phase to start restoring that order. So that's a little unfortunate. 2 infection increase. Pour 1 out for the luchador. Lucky Charm counts for saving roll. Oh! I still failed. Thanks, Tom. So great. Oh, these, get ready. That's right. I forgot about the Lucky Charm. I mean, they are magically delicious, but, you know, obviously they are not magically useful for me. I do have this, too, so I'm going to want to be strategic about when using this Liquid Courage. I think this guy's just toast, so they'll end up there, which is fine. So I'm not going to try to save them. That's too much. 1, 2. Oh, I have to save it there. Yeah, Campground I'm conceding. Beauville I'm conceding. You have to make sure the guard survives this. All right. So they come in. This goes up. It is a 10 to a 1. It's actually a 10 to a 3 because I'm trained. It's still Zeds times 3. It becomes Zeds times 2 because of the terrain shift. Please get obliterated. I rolled a 7. Yeah, 3 damage. Do I want to do a saving roll? Sure. I fail. Wow, my saving rolls have been awful. So this unit's here. This becomes, they're running away. This gets a chaos marker. They advance again. They devour these trespassers, the refugees, and we're up to 7. I'm not going to try to save them because, you know, that's a thing. We are now going to activate the forest track. Up, up. We're activating the mountain track. Up, up, up. Last chaos marker. We're activating this track. This goes up. It is a Zeds times 2. 2 terrain shift that goes equal to, please don't wuss out on me here, an 8. Beautiful. So equal to, we get 2 damage to the Zeds unit. 1 damage to our security forces. They back up. This one advances, forms a Zeds mob. That goes there. And now the tunnel track. I am playing Liquid Courage. Play this card at the beginning of any hand-to-hand combat for a 1-2 shift on this fight. So this comes in, this goes up. It is a 6 to a 4, so that's Zed's advantage. Terrain shift makes it equal to, and now this Liquid Courage makes it human times 2. I rolled a 5. Glad I did that. That's 2 damage. I got 1 damage and another one because of the Liquid Courage. Oh, wait, I have to do the Catacombs roll. It advanced normally. Of course it did. So this backs up. This comes in. Woo! Catacombs rolls have also not been my friend right now. All right. We activated all the tracks. We're done. We now go to the next event. And we have 0 chaos left to play with. What's going on? Okay. Bloated Zeds erupt. We're dead. Yep. Activating the highway track. That's going to be chaos I cannot place. That was really. Oh, wait. No, never mind. No, yeah, they don't restore order till the end of the round. Yeah, they were dead. So we go Raiders, Rangers, Rescuers, Refugees, Rescuers. That's done. Yeah, I never had an opportunity to restore this order. That's unfortunate. We have to roll. I rolled a 4, so we're going to get a fate draw. Remove a chaos marker. Clint Eastwood emerges from the shadows to assist you before disappearing once. Play this card at the beginning of any hand-to-hand combat for a +3. Oh, yeah, these should be face up anyway because of Wilson. We have to place a regular Zeds in the place with the most chaos. That is the suburbs track that will go into Beauville. That's a 9er. We have to eat. We have no units in the hospital. At the beginning of this phase, make a fate draw. Play this card. If possible, select 2 units in the same space. They cannot move. So find the mayor and Wilson and Hermit are arguing. Why wouldn't they? And the Zed unit close to the town center on the fated track. So the highway track is eliminated. The Zed unit close to the town center on the fated track is eliminated. So this guy's out. That's a 6er, but he's got 2 damage on him. And immediately conduct a separate 4-strength gunfire attack at each adjacent player unit, Unzeds and Zeds unit. So gunfire attack on my forces there. So gunfire attack 4 against the special forces, 6. So that's 1 damage. He flips. Gunfire attack 4 against that unit. It's an 8. That's 2 damage. He flips and there's 1 remainder. Gunfire 4 against that unit. It's a 9, 2 damage on that unit. All units, including refugees, super Zeds, and disease spreaders, are affected by this attack. Units and start spaces are not affected. This can be a super unit or a disease spreader. Excellent. So that is done, and now we activate all the tracks. This comes in, no chaos marker, and we lose. So bad. I'll tell you what, though, like it was fun to like see an opening, but yeah, not able to stay on top of how that went down. Oh man, it just was like brutal. Brutal ass kicking from the beginning, and then we just once we got El Toro Loco, just a couple of rolls go a little differently. We just weren't able to really hammer down on any of these locations. I mean, when you only have 12 chaos markers, you have 5 tracks. You have to try to keep one of them clean. I mean, here, I mean, it's security guard post actually worked out well, but even trying to get up here, if I could have gotten Bob Bauer's crew and a barricade there, and maybe had her kind of chilling, but I needed her in the Citadel because I was getting so many, like so much pressure on town center. Using her with the Citadel action was huge. I mean, it's a gunfire attack 6. The foraging went pretty well. I mean, Hauser's ability to train the civilians went really well, but often it is that suburbs track. And if the Raiders just had 1 action ahead, 1 more activation, this comes off, this would come off the next time. We would start getting some of those chaos markers back and just giving us more of a string to play with. But yeah, that's a tough challenge, man. That was really fun though. Good game. So close. I don't know if it was close. But that Lucky Charm was highly predictable this time. Yep, it was. I mean, that was because again, the number of rolls, like when I had rolled 3 dice, I mean, the number of times that I was forced to like kind of refocus on an area that I already had a strategy that could have worked out was really bad. I mean, it's like if I could have left El Toro Loco there, because I'm rolling 3 dice, then I could try to move this horse over here and say like, oh, that's a problem. Like, but I knew, I mean, that when you have the ratio of events that you have, like, I mean, that the crazy thing is why I don't think this was all that close, where I think it could have gone differently, right? But I mean, I have 2 special events in a row coming up, right? Another brains event, and there's more, and that would have been really, really rough. We were just getting overwhelmed and just did not get the barricades going at all. And even without the barricades, I mean, I love Seaver. I mean, just the extra way that you can kind of keep that infection level down, and it's just so action efficient. But trying to get to the research through the research deck, I don't regret not trying to do that. Look, a distraction. Oh, that could have been helpful. Yeah, none of the, I mean, you get the fake card. It was nice we got all the extra heroes, but you get those fake cards where you can cancel an activation. Those can be used. Eliminate a Zed unit as it enters a town center space. That could be really, really nice. But I do like, I don't know if I prefer it, but I mean, it's a tighter game. So maybe it's good there's less rounds, but I do like the mechanics of the co-op game. I expected to not like it just because I feel like you're truncating the game in such a way that you're not going to have as rich of a story emerge. But that concern I had, it feels like it's not really that founded experientially. I mean, you're still having the same kind of narratives generated by just the incredible amount of cards that you have here. But again, the bigger the deck of cards, the harder it is to balance, right? And you're going to have certain games that just feel like absolute wallopings. I don't think you're going to have many games that feel like advantage player too hard, unless you get like Alyssa Darling. And if you get like Alyssa Darling, Mr. Johnson, Deputy Schmidt, and Big Wheels Carter or something like that, that's really sick. Or May Hauser. I mean, Rusty. There's a lot of good combinations. I mean, I always love Colonel Kingman. The rest of the actions I had here, that wouldn't have done much. Army drone strike, we could have tried to just attack. It would have been tough. It would have been really tough. It would have been cool to see it play out. Had we just had another, if the Raiders event was the first event in chapter 3, as opposed to the third before the special events, I think that would have been really interesting to see them just start to clean up the suburbs track for me and just give me a little bit more of a string to play with. But I don't know. I mean, defending against a Zeds mob of a 10 is rough. I mean, he had the 7 coming in there. This guy was on his last legs. All of it was going to be really rough. And the National Guard would have started cleaning up the highway track for me, obviously. But, it would have been pretty wild to see. I mean, hopefully we would have gotten lucky with the Catacombs rolls. You kind of maybe jam these guys up for a little bit. But this game is still great, and it's coming back to it when I haven't played it for a while. There's always like the first game or two feel a little bit like the first half of the first game feels a little bit frustrating because like remembering like all the little rules and remembering like the infection and remembering whatever. But then once I get to that second game and I'm like, all right, you get into that rhythm again and you kind of relearn the steps to that dance, and hopefully you get some good dice rolls. But that is not my game. How much did drawing General Lee hurt? I don't know if it hurt as much. I mean, there was some really nice synergy with Lee, just getting Lee where I want to kind of move people. I do think that I mean, that's 6 movement and you just get a hero into the space where you need it. I mean, granted, I did have this sturdy vehicles commandeered card I never used because I had General Lee kind of doing that movement. That ability to get a wounded unit back to the hospital for healing. I mean, I've had that. General Lee and Doc Seaver, I find that a super strong combination. He's like, oh, someone's wounded, you get a hero wounded, great, get him back to the hospital. Seaver heals them, you get him back, and you haven't used any of your other actions. That to me is a really, really nice, some really nice flexibility. I mean, Mayor Hernandez, the Citadel action, it's hard to discount that. I think if you replace that with something, I mean, Otto himself isn't very attacky, but the way he gave my units more life, especially because I kept healing them with Seaver, that I really actually liked some of the way those synergies were coming together. But, obviously wasn't able to. I mean, that's where it does hurt you a little bit to not have the other three on the board. So I was just basically, I can make a bunch of twos into fours, but it's that much better when I can make two threes into two fives and a four into a six, right? It really, the math just, it's subtle, but over the course of a game can make a huge difference in how things play out. I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I do like right a lot. I think that +1 shift's really important. So, I don't know. Again, there's like anything. It's like you have strategies, but then the dice still need to roll, and it's like, well, was it a bad strategy? Did I just roll bad? Like, I don't know. It's a hard game. Like, and I think if you listen to not Alan Emmerich. If you listen to Herman Lutman talk about what he likes about games, like he just likes story. He likes chaos and randomness. Robo Rally was one of his favorite games. Or I think he's just gotten into Zia recently, or Zia. He just likes a story generator and a game where I like to win, right? And I like games to win that are hard, especially. So to me, this is that really nice sweet spot where if you love narrative, you're going to love this game. If you like games that are really hard to win, and when you win, it feels like really satisfying because there's a lot of room for player creativity, like that's cool too. Like this game just appeals to both player groups. And I hope, like, it does seem like there is like a growing groundswell of people who are like just still discovering this game, and it seems like it's really starting to continue to be kind of grow in the esteem of the player community. So that's always good to see. Instead of a more combat oriented, a versatile character. Good question. Tom said the character draw was rough in the beginning. Impressive you held out so long. And then quarter to three says ambulance horse. I love it. Yeah, dude. He's so great. Like my favorite, if you get like Colonel Kingman, again, one of the favorite things to do with Kingman is to have him like hold down the highway track for a while. And then if you have Lee in play, Lee is as soon as he gets hurt, let's bring him back, he goes between hunker down and whatever, it's hard. Usually Kingman doesn't take 2 damage at once. Usually he's just taking 1. So you have a chance to kind of heal him up and keep bringing him back. If anything, I feel like the card more the General Lee, like Wilson, again, he's lucky. I relied on Lucky Charm in a way that didn't help. So, if I had pulled Alyssa Darling or Bouncing Betty, I think that would have been a game changer because I had a chance to do something, and then I pull Wilson the Hermit, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'll rely on 3 dice rolls for El Toro Loco, and obviously that was a that reliance was misplaced because I might be rolling 3 dice, but it's still me rolling those 3 dice. We'll see how good that does me, and obviously not much good, but we'll be back. I don't. One of the things about this game that's hard for the channel is I don't know what I want to do with it, because I could do longer games, I could do epic games. I do need to give Rumors and Rails a better showing. I felt like it didn't really didn't come into play much in my last playthrough, and I think that's fine. I mean, it just adds a layer to the game. In some games, it's more important than others. It's kind of like the super weapon. Some games, the super weapon is everything. In some games, it's like, not sure if we're even going to try to go there. Although Zeds treats could have really, really come in handy. I love Zeds treats, man. It takes you, again, a minimum, if you're rolling average, it's going to take you 8-9 actions just to set that up, right? So that's can be a rough thing. And there was not a single event that came out that let me flip over the next research card. And again, I didn't have anyone that was really research card oriented. So that would have been a long haul for sure. Am I playing another one? No. I mean, on my own, I might. I think a 2-hour game, you start getting a 4-hour video. That's, I've done it before for sure, but it's definitely not going to be my MO. I'm more likely to do double headers like I've done a few times. So, maybe I'll do 2 short games of Zeds on the same day in the future, but that day is not today. I should see how my my sick wife is doing. Again, she's holding out well, but she was diagnosed with COVID a week ago. So we're still kind of in the, in that gray area. Hopefully I can, actually give her a hug by the end of the week when she tests negative again. But that day is not today. So, but that's it. Thank you for the chat, especially, Tom and well, both Toms kind of helped me out with the little rules I was forgetting, with the lucky roll. And then, oh yeah, I applied the terrain shift against the leapers. That didn't make much of a difference the way that played out, but was able to get that guy healed up, get Doc Seaver in place, do some field healing. I never got a chance to get another heroic civilian, and I think you get those games where sometimes you're better to have 2 or 3 heroic civilians than to have 7 heroes, because the heroic civilians, again, they have the extra health capabilities. I mean, you get the Farmingdale Furies, they have the tough ability, you get the checkmates, you get the extra actions, you get the FD 120 non-auxiliaries, you get the fire hose, you can just start spraying things back, the savior core to get some more healing. Just having the 1 heroes and being the construction crew, like, in theory that could have been great. I just wasn't able to get them working because I had all these fires that I was fighting from the first, from early on, when I just started rolling so poorly early. And by the time I started rolling well, it was just too late to really do much with it. Thank you, Greg. Excellent story played. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you showing up again. If you want to see what's coming up next in Soul Playthroughs, again, I owe you a Madara video. I will try to edit that most of tonight to get that out tomorrow, hopefully. And then Sunday, I don't even know, Return to Dark Tower, maybe. I don't know. There's a schedule on my Patreon page. You can check it out. It's a public post I put out every month to tell you what is being played in the current month that we're in, as well as a sneak peek of the month to come. Next week will probably be Space Empires 4X. If I switch it to a doubleheader of Spirit Island, don't be surprised. It'll be one of those two for sure. But I have a bunch of new games that I'm trying to feature. I just got a review copy of Machina Arcana. I got a review copy of Uprising, which is amazing. Really like that game. Notwithstanding some recent reviews of that game that are questionable and dubious at best, but I digress. But yeah, lots of cool stuff planned for the summer months and beyond. I will be taking a 2-week break in like June, July, so the end of this month, just to kind of reset and get myself some time to learn some of these new games to make sure I'm doing them justice. That is always my goal. If you want to consider supporting this channel, I could definitely use it. Would really appreciate it. There are 3 different tiers of support on Patreon. I think you can still do a custom pledge as well. Check it out if it makes sense for you. If not, the likes, the comments, the watch time, the subscriptions, all of that's really, really appreciated as I continue to grow this channel. And that is it. Seeing no more comments, anything comes up, put that in the comment section below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, happy gaming.